Good afternoon and welcome to Premier League Live for our doubleheader Sunday, which returns on Matchday 32 of the Premier League season. And after a dramatic Saturday of action, Sunday is set to be another blockbuster afternoon here in the Premier League. Whether it's the title race that isn't really a title race, the relegation battle that isn't really a relegation battle, or the race for Europe, which is certainly a race for European places in the Premier League. The Premier League continues to excite, and once again, another set of two beautiful games to come for you this afternoon. We are first at Anfield as Liverpool sit 10 points clear at the top of the Premier League table ahead of their game this afternoon, and a chance to extend their gap from 11 points yesterday to 13 points this afternoon with a win over West Ham after Arsenal dropped points in a London derby against Brentford. Also this afternoon, we watch a Newcastle United side who will be without Eddie Howe after he was hospitalised through illness earlier this weekend. He is not on the touchline. Jason Tindall will be there this afternoon for Newcastle in their bid to try and push for Champions League football for the second time in 3 seasons for Newcastle United. And they are in the driving seat. If they win this afternoon and then win their game in hand in midweek, they will rocket themselves up to third after this weekend's results elsewhere so far. It is incredibly exciting, but before we get on to Premier League stuff, there is a big news story brewing and developing further north of the border in Scotland, as Celtic are just minutes away from being crowned the champions of Scotland for the 55th time in their history. That would equal the record that Rangers currently hold. So both sides would hold 55 titles. Rangers are currently losing 2-1 to Aberdeen in that one at, of course, there in Scotland. So Aberdeen winning by 2-1. They're into added time. They scored a third, Aberdeen, which would have confirmed it, but that was disallowed by VAR. So it is still 2-1. If Rangers pick up a point, they will carry it through to next weekends after the post-split. But if they lose today, Rangers, after Celtic's thrashing of Kilmarnock 5-1 yesterday at Celtic Park, it would mean Celtic will be crowned champions of Scotland once again under Brendan Rodgers, and we will await the final whistle there. They're into 2 minutes, into the second minute of added time. We don't know how many added minutes there is, but we'll let you know once that comes to a close. Also this afternoon, breaking away back to Champions League, our Premier League action. 3 2 o'clock kickoffs this afternoon. Chelsea take on Ipswich. Chelsea chasing Champions League themselves. Would love a big 3 points to help their cause this afternoon. Of course, Liverpool West Ham is our feature game this afternoon as Liverpool edge closer to a second Premier League title in 5 years. And a win today would certainly help their hopes, and we'll tell you what that means for them if they do win today a little in a moment or two. And Wolves take on Tottenham. Wolves can dampen Leicester's safety survival hopes once again if they claim victory over Tottenham this afternoon. Leicester did get a point yesterday away at Brighton, however. The first time they had scored a goal in the Premier League since January the 26th, Leicester, which is quite remarkable. Those are yesterday's results. 5 games yesterday. City were 2-0 down against Palace, but came back to win 5-2. A commanding victory in the end from Pep Guardiola's side. Brighton led Leicester twice, but were pegged back twice, and Leicester came out with a point at the Amex. Nottingham Forest, another defeat. Another big win for Everton. Only lost 2 games in charge of Everton in a second spell so far in the Premier League. David Moyes at home to Villa and away to Liverpool. Nottingham Forest on the list of big scalpings that Everton have taken under David Moyes as of recently. Forest, really, they're struggling their way towards a Champions League place. They're really stumbling at this stage of the season, and they do not want to see themselves fall out of those positions. We will see. And Villa, commanding victory over already relegated Southampton, and Arsenal, of course, dropping points against Brentford 1-1. As the players come out to the field here, because of course this weekend, a very special weekend, a very memorable weekend in the city of Liverpool. Of course, on Tuesday, in 2 days' time, it will be the 36th anniversary of the Hillsborough disaster, in which 97 men, women and children lost their lives in an FA Cup semi-final watching their team play football. Unlawfully killed, as was decided by a court, and we will remember those very shortly. Let's have a look at the two teams then before this one this afternoon. Liverpool start with Alisson, who returns after those injury protocols, the concussion protocols that kept him out. Conor Bradley is back fit. He starts at right back. Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk, the captain of the centre backs, with Kostas Tsimikas deputising at left back for Andy Robertson, who drops to the bench. In midfield, Curtis Jones started at right back against Fulham, is in his more natural position in midfield alongside Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister. And a front three for Liverpool of Luis Diaz, Mo Salah, who signed a new 2-year deal in the week, and Diogo Jota leading the Liverpool line. On the bench for Liverpool this afternoon, Jarosz, Kelleher, Kwanzaa, Robertson, Endo, Elliott, Szoboszlai, Chiesa and Gakpo. For Graham Potter's West Ham United, Alphonse Areola starts in goal. A back five of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Jean-Claude Todibo, Konstantinos Mavropanos, Max Kilman and Ollie Scarles in defence. A midfield of James Ward-Prowse and Carlos Soler, with a front three of Lucas Paquetá, Mohamed Kudus and captain Jared Bowen leads the line. On the bench for the Hammers, Fabianski, Sofal, Emerson, Guilherme, Alvarez, Rodriguez, Soucek, Fulkrug and Ferguson. Those are our teams as You'll Never Walk Alone rings around Anfield for this one this afternoon. Their side very, very close to a second Premier League title in 5 years. And let's just show you what that means then. This is the scene for the title race run-in. Liverpool, just 7 games to go. They sit 10 points clear of Arsenal at the top of the Premier League table and need just now 3 more wins to claim a second title in 5 years. They could win it next weekend if Arsenal lose to Ipswich next weekend and Liverpool beat West Ham this weekend and Leicester. Liverpool will be crowned champions next Sunday. But if that doesn't happen and Arsenal do win next week, then they can't do anything if Liverpool win their next 3 games, including Tottenham at home. How poetic that would be. And that's on Sunday the 27th of April. Well, You'll Never Walk Alone, met by an air of emotion and memorialisation at Anfield this afternoon. A time of year that Liverpool fans will never forget, and the 97 men, women and children who lost their lives in the Hillsborough disaster will never be forgotten. Good afternoon and welcome to Premier League Live. A wonderfully, wonderfully respected moment at Anfield to remember the 97 who Liverpool will never forget, and on Tuesday will remember and fall silent at 3 on Tuesday afternoon. Exactly 36 years to the day that horrible disaster occurred. To on the field matters now. Liverpool against West Ham here in the Premier League this afternoon, along with 2 other 2 o'clock kickoffs. It is set to be an exciting day. Liverpool in red, as always. At home, West Ham in their away strip of white shirts and claret shorts. As we get underway in this one to kick off our doubleheader here in LFS this Sunday afternoon. And another weekend where Liverpool can take one big step closer to being crowned Premier League champions for the second time in their history, and crowned league champions in England for the 20th time, a record equaling 20th time alongside Manchester United in their club's histories. An institution in this country is Liverpool Football Club, and Arne Slot in his first season looks to be carrying them to something of a greatness, something Liverpool fans could only dream of at the start of the season. Here is McAllister, a bit of a loose pass, and kind of you feel after the defeat last week from Liverpool against Fulham, you feel that this weekend they need to kind of put down a stance again of, this is why you're Premier League champions, this is why they're going to lift this trophy in a number of weeks' time. You need that reminder in people's heads of, this is why they're Premier League champions, this is why they're going to lift the Premier League trophy. And today could be that chance, but also West Ham will come here knowing that they've no pressure, that the pressure is completely on Liverpool to perform. You know, West Ham don't need to come here and do anything. They're not expected to get anything out of this game, so West Ham aren't coming here with any sort of pressure, and their season's, practically over. They're in no man's land, really. They're just playing for pride. Here's Salah, driving off that right-hand side. Mo Salah feeds it through for Jones on the right flank. Has to come back to Mo Salah again, who signed the new 2-year deal, announced on Friday morning. In the middle of the Anfield pitch, on a throne befitting of the Egyptian king, of course. And the story continues was the caption that Liverpool decided to use. There's one other in this starting 11 that they be hoping the story will continue, and here he is, their captain Virgil van Dijk. Tsimikas out wide to Diaz, steps inside, Diaz chips the ball round the back post, and the header there from Max Kilman puts it behind for the Liverpool corner. Yeah, decent work down that left hand side, nice work from Luis Diaz, allows the underlapping run from Costa Tsimikas just to drag that space further infield, and as he drives inside, tries to loop the cross to the back post, and it's a good header by Kilman. And Liverpool get the first set piece of the game from this right hand side at the Anfield Road end. When we get a break and play, I can tell you what's happened in Scotland, because you would never believe it. Left-footed delivery there from the corner, cleared away at the front post. Jones whips it back in, the header slightly wayward as Salah keeps it alive, but Salah offside there as he came back. As I was saying, you wouldn't believe it, Aberdeen and Rangers. Aberdeen were winning 2-1. If Aberdeen had held on to a 2-1 lead and won the game, Celtic would be crowned champions today. Confirmed, mathematically impossible for Rangers to catch them. You wouldn't believe it, in the 96th minute, Yanis Hadji got an equalising goal for Rangers and got a draw, which means Rangers are 15 points behind Celtic with 15 points left to play for, so it's not mathematically over, but it is practically over, but they can't confirm it just yet. So Celtic have to wait another day, or at least another week. As Diaz, lovely first touch, Jota takes it on, couldn't find the second touch there, Jota just got it away from him. As here's Wan-Bissaka clearing the lines for West Ham. Van Dijk winning a commanding header there. So far, Liverpool coming out with a little bit of streaming intent. They want to come out and fight here today. They want to bounce back from that disappointing result away in West London last weekend. They were leading 1-0 and had that crazy 15-minute spell in the first half where they were from 1-0 up to 3-1 down. And to be fair, they almost got something out of it last week. A couple of late chances after Luis Diaz's goal made it 3-2. And a couple of late chances to rescue a point, Liverpool. But Fulham held on. It's only their second defeat of the season. Their first away from home under Arne Slot in the Premier League, which is quite remarkable that we're in mid-April, and that was Liverpool's first away defeat of the season. Unbeaten in their previous 15 away games in the Premier League this season, where Liverpool, they'd only lost one game prior to that Fulham game, and that was of course Nottingham Forest at home, way early in the campaign. I think it was the 4th match of the season for Liverpool as they win the ball back here in midfield. McAllister lays it off to Gravenberch. Now Jota feeds it down the left-hand side. Comes Diaz. Forced a little bit wide. Chops back onto his right foot. Drive it across the box. And Diaz's shot, well saved by Areola and cleared away by West Ham. But Luis Diaz already causing a little bit of a threat in these early moments. He did it off the bench against Fulham last week. He really ignited Liverpool in that final third last week against Fulham and kind of turned it all on. Got Liverpool hoping of a comeback. In the end, it didn't transpire, but certainly give him that hope and that belief, Luis Diaz. Here he is again. And of course, it's actually quite interesting, Luis Diaz performing at the moment, but and getting some good performances in this Liverpool team, but there's been a lot of questions over his future. Will he be here next season? Is he good enough? Has he done enough in a Liverpool shirt just yet? Here is Diaz stepping onto his right foot, whips it across again, and the header over the bar from Alexis McAllister, who opened the scoring last week for Liverpool against Fulham. And his header that time went over the bar for a goal kick. We already have a goal in our 2 o'clockers. Wolves have taken the lead against Tottenham in that game at Molineux. I said that Wolves could really extend the gap that they have upon the teams in the bottom 3, especially Leicester, who, well, you would say they gained a point, but it's ultimately, if Wolves win, it's 2 points given away to Wolves over the overall, and Ryan Aït-Nouri has given Wolves the lead there. So it is Wolves 1, Tottenham 0. And Wolves would go, if they win this afternoon, they would go 17 points clear of Leicester City in 19th. They would be 14 points clear of Ipswich, but Ipswich are currently drawing at the moment. That's as it stands. So it would mean they were all but relegated, Leicester. They would be just a single point away from being relegated, and that would happen next week if, of course, Wolves do win this afternoon. But a lot can transpire between now and then. That's lovely 1-2 combinations, and Salah's made the run in behind. Salah gets the ball, blocked off his defender by Max Kilman. Will be a Liverpool corner. The flag stayed down. Lovely little 1-2 give and go down that right hand side. Whether Salah was onside or not was never flagged on the field, and of course with the new semi-automated offsides, if it had been a goal, it would have been checked. It's just a corner for Liverpool. It's a lovely combination down that right-hand side, though. Another corner on this right side. Left-footed delivery by Tsimikas. Flicked on by West Ham at the front post, but no one there in the Liverpool persuasion at the back to take advantage as Scarles picks it up for the Hammers. Again, Kudus can't really make much of his header, and Connor Bradley can recycle. Which of course will be a massive relief to Liverpool that Connor Bradley's back in the side. A natural right back in that position, of course, with Trent Alexander-Arnold injured and Connor Bradley was injured. Liverpool didn't have any natural right backs. Played Curtis Jones at right back last week. Tsimikas made the run in behind there. It was just offside as the ball was played to him. Slot did make 4 changes today for Liverpool from that defeat to Fulham last week. Both fullbacks swapped out, of course. Obviously, Curtis Jones didn't come out of the side. He's moved into midfield. But Connor Bradley playing at right back, where Jones was playing last week. And, of course, at left back, Andy Robertson started last week. It's Kostas Tsimikas in there for Liverpool today. So both fullbacks changed from last week. And you would argue a lot of individual errors last week for Liverpool. You know, it's not often we've seen a lot of that this season from Liverpool. Very rarely, and of course it happens. It's football, but it just so happened that all of those little individual errors that we haven't seen from Liverpool all seemed to come at once in a little 15-minute spell last week against Fulham. And when you're in that sort of position, away from home, in a big Premier League game against good opposition, You can't afford, no matter who you are, you can't afford to make individual errors of the magnitude that Liverpool did in and around your own box and expect not to be punished for it. And they were duly punished and deservedly punished by Fulham, and Fulham deserved to get the victory last week. But it's one of those where if Liverpool don't commit major errors, their defence is very solid. You know, they're the second best defence in the Premier League. Only Arsenal have conceded less goals than Liverpool this season. So it's not that they're shipping goals at the back. They have a very solid defence, and that's one thing that's actually been really positive about Arne Slot. And one of the big benefits between the change from Klopp to Slot is the fact that Liverpool have looked much more defensively solid, a much more kind of compacted out of possession. And it's going to benefit them, really, because we talk about last season, of course it was driven by emotion with Jurgen Klopp going, but what we said was Liverpool was shipping goals far too much, and to be challenging in a title race against Man City and Arsenal, you need to have a strong defence, and you need to be really solid out of possession, and Liverpool weren't that last season, but they are this season, and it's no surprise that they've continued in their attacking vein that they did last season. They've just added a few different kind of qualities to that, and have improved themselves and built themselves up to be Premier League champions this season, or Premier League champions elect. It's not done yet, but you would say it's merely academic from an outside perspective, really. Here's Diaz, a little bit caught loose, but it's going to be a foul here. It's going to be pulled back. I think it's Alexis McAllister that actually gets the free kick in the end there for Liverpool. It is, as he was caught by Jean-Claire Todibo. Yeah, Diaz was caught first, and then it was the second one that really kind of solidified it in the referee's mind that it was a foul. And Liverpool got the free kick. So here is McAllister, looking for options. So West Ham have everybody back at the moment. McAllister, Van Dijk to Diaz, bit heavy, but Diaz controls it well. Goes inside to Gravenberch. He's a man for dead who actually falls over the referee. Here's McAllister. Good block there at the near post. I think it was Paquetá colliding with the referee. He was trying to challenge Gravenberch. He slipped. Lucas Paquetá, he slipped into the referee. Like bowling pins, fell everywhere there. There's nothing as funny as a referee falling over. Not that that's anything entertaining. You know what I mean. It's just something you don't see very often. It's just quite funny when it happens. Speaking of referees, it's a good time to mention who our referee is today. Andy Madley is the referee, the man in the middle, this afternoon. As we're into the box here, Liverpool. Diaz with a whip ball. Away from Jota. Bradley! Goes wide. Whether it took a deflection or not, I'm not too sure. I think it might have. Lovely little ball towards McAllister. Laid it back to Diaz. Diaz whips the ball across. Good header by Kilman, and as it falls to the edge of the box for Connor Bradley, takes the touch, edge of the box, hits it clean, and it does take a deflection off Lucas Paquetá and goes wide for the corner, but decent work again from Liverpool there. As McAllister gets ready to take this corner on the left-hand side, right-footed. West Ham get the first contact, but Liverpool win the second ball with Gravenberch. Bradley wide to Jones. Salah on the far right hand side, linking up with Curtis Jones, driving in field. Jones straight down the keeper's throat of Alphonse Areola. He's had a little bit of a haircut there, Alphonse Areola, and kind of styling out the new hairstyle there. Yeah, but he made a decent save there from Curtis Jones. A little bit better from Liverpool, taking earlier shots. Controlled a lot of the ball so far, as you would expect. A lot of the possession, but they're creating decent opportunities at the moment. Here's Salah. Once again. Drives infield. Gravenberch, nice 1-2. Just couldn't reach Salah. Too narrow from Gravenberch, the return ball, which allowed West Ham to clear their lines. They're just not sustaining any sort of possession at the minute. Every time they clear their lines, West Ham, Liverpool are just receiving it easily back. It's just one-way traffic at the moment here at Anfield. 15 gone, Liverpool 0, West Ham 0. Elsewhere, Chelsea still being held by Ipswich 0-0 at Stamford Bridge, and Wolves still 1 up against Tottenham at Molineux. Ryan Aït-Nouri, the scorer there of that one at Molineux. Jota tried to reverse a ball in behind for Diaz. Again, the West Ham defence stepping up, and Soler under pressure here. Ends up putting the ball out for a Liverpool through. That's a very strong press from Liverpool there. Closed Soler into really no man's land, and he had no options, no opportunities. Had to just put the ball out of play. He'd run out of room. Fantastic press there from Liverpool. Rage Wolf says, I hope Liverpool win today and we put more points on the table and be more closer to winning the league trophy. Yes, a win today for Liverpool would put them 13 points clear at the top of the Premier League. That would be 2 points more than they had coming into this weekend, and it would mean that Arsenal's kind of chances of catching them would be merely academic, coming maybe next weekend if Arsenal lose to Leicester or to Ipswich and Liverpool win their next 2, including this one. But if that doesn't happen, if both teams continue to pick up big points and both teams win, Liverpool only need to win their next 3 games, including this West Ham game. Because here's Mo Salah! Hits it wide. You see it, it's trademark Salah. Beats his full-back on that right side. Lovely ball from the back there by Konate. Beautiful touch by Salah. Chops inside his full-back, breaks it into the box, and he's trying to curl it to that far left corner. It's trademark Mo Salah. And he just opens it up too much, and it doesn't curl enough to find that bottom corner. You're waiting for the net to bulge, and it never does. And it goes behind for a goal kick, but Liverpool knocking on the door. And a little bit harder every second they come forward, every time they come forward. They get ever closer to getting past Alphonse Areola and this West Ham defence. That's a lovely turn by Salah, beat his full back again. Salah's having fun here, ball across, Diaz! Liverpool take the lead. It was only a matter of time, and Mohamed Salah again, the architect in Liverpool's opening goal. Diaz the finisher, Salah providing the assist for the 18th time this season. Remarkable from the 32-year-old. And Luis Diaz, empty net at the back post. Simple as you like. Again, it's that long ball down that right channel. Salah beat Oliver Scarles a few minutes ago doing that. Missed his own chance. This time he wasn't going to miss that one. Lovely turn, beats his man, gets into space and just drifts it across the 18-yard box. And Luis Diaz there, happy as anything to see that ball come across. Open as you like. And Areola and West Ham had no chance. Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0. And they don't want to throw this away, because this might be the weekend that they get one step closer to another Premier League title. Mo Salah, his first goal involvement since signing that new contract until 2027. And they're on the move again here, Liverpool. They want to quickly make it 2. But Diaz is offside there. Got a little bit too eager. There, the Colombian. You felt it was coming. You know, it was just inevitable. The way Liverpool had started, the way they'd got into their groove, they dominated West Ham. They were creating opportunities. They just got into their rhythm, into their momentum, and you could really feel it. It was coming, and Salah really has his fullback on toast at the minute. Young Ollie Scarles has a real tough job on that left wing back position, and Mo Salah is showing him exactly why he is one of the best in his position in world football. Mo Salah, instrumental in Liverpool's opening goal. Absolutely remarkable. 45 goal involvements in the Premier League this season, Mo Salah. 27 goals and now 18 assists. It's absolutely remarkable. The Premier League record, by the way, of goal involvements in a single season is 47. So Mo Salah only needs to contribute to 2 more goals for Liverpool between now and the end of the season to equal that record. 3 more and he beats the all-time Premier League record of goal involvements in a single season. Absolutely unstoppable. Unstoppable. Decent challenge by Tsimikas, but Liverpool couldn't keep the possession there, but Gravenberch does well. Oh, give it away cheaply though. The ball round the back here. West Ham. Kudus trying to pick it up. Trying to beat the keeper. Oh, it's cleared away. Soler couldn't find the net. Have to see the replay of that. Mohamed Kudus. It was Soler that made the run in behind. Well, that's lovely from Liverpool. Diaz with a beautiful flick on. And here's Jota. This game's end to end at the moment. Here's Connor Bradley. Salah now. Trying to find the through ball to Bradley. Just a little bit short. And blocked off by West Ham. As Konate just tries to restore a little bit of settlement for Liverpool. It was a nervy moment there. West Ham got in. It's Carlos Soler that made the run in behind. I have to see the replay, but I don't know whether Alisson made the save or whether he hit the crossbar. I'm not too sure. But it was very close from West Ham. Try and level this game. In the end, of course, didn't. Still 1-0 to Liverpool. Konate. Van Dijk now, Tsimikas. Diaz, back to Kostas Tsimikas. Van Dijk to Gravenberch. Going on a little run, Ryan Gravenberch here. Bursting it through, finding Bradley, looking for the cut back. And tried to cut it across. Blocked from West Ham and it can back off Connor Bradley for a goal kick. See this again. So it's Soler around the back of Van Dijk. Alisson came for it, didn't really make much of it. And then it falls to Mohamed Kudus, who tries to chip it over the top. And backpedaling, Alisson, whether he makes contact with this, I think he might just get a fingertip to it. I don't know whether it changes the direction of the ball, but it comes crashing off the crossbar and ends up being put behind for a goal kick in the end. But that was a nervy moment there. A moment West Ham will be looking to cling on to. But Salah, again, full back on toast. Salah in the middle, trying to cross it too much. Mohamed Salah is on fire today. He is absolutely all over his fullback. I mean, that is unreal. The touch spins away. I mean, that's just sensational. The ball's just coming from looping in the air, and Mo Salah just got his leg planted out, waiting for to take the touch over the head of the fullback and spin him. It's unbelievable stuff. He's done it 2 or 3 times now. Maybe that new contract really did energise him. Now there's a goal as well at Stamford Bridge. But that assist for Salah is his first goal involvement for Liverpool since the 3-1 win over Southampton here on the 8th of March. Had failed to score or assist for Liverpool in their last 4 games in all competitions, which is a drought considering his numbers. A goal in the Premier League at Stamford Bridge, and it has come for Ipswich. They've taken the lead against Chelsea. Julio Enciso has given Ipswich the lead, so Chelsea's hopes of Champions League might be dented this afternoon. If they fail to come back from 1-0 down, they would stay in 6th. And a chance for Newcastle to go well above them come this evening. As Gravenberch does well to win the ball back here for Liverpool, high up. Wanted to shoot. Brought down by Jones though, it's kept alive. Simicast back to Curtis Jones. 25 minutes gone here at Anfield. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0. Luis Diaz the scorer. Mo Salah the provider. Here is Curtis Jones whipping it to the back post. Salah just a little high, tried to keep it alive, and Kilman had to clear it away. Gravenberch does very well. Lays it off to Jota. Couldn't find the through ball. But Kudus there. Or not Kudus, sorry. Mavropanos to clear the lines. And in the end, Salah gives away a foul. But Luis Diaz is in some form as well. Certainly recently has hit an uptick in form for both club and country. Has scored or assisted in all of his last 5 games for club and country. And has a total of 4 goals and 2 assists in his last 5 games. 6 goal involvements in total. Scored in a 2-1 defeat of Brazil. 2-1 defeat to Brazil for Colombia. 2-2 draw with Paraguay. He was involved in both goals. Got the assist for Liverpool's winner against Everton here in the derby. Scored the second goal for Liverpool against Fulham last week. And has scored the opener this afternoon for Liverpool. So Luis Diaz in decent run of form for club and country in the last few weeks. That's his 11th Premier League goal of the season for Luis Diaz. That goal, as there is a bit of an issue here for West Ham. Player down on the field. Is it? Yeah, it's Lucas Paquetá. Gravenberch trying to hold him off, and he just slightly catches the face of Lucas Paquetá, who is trying to find some blood, but there was barely any contact. Anyway. Drama. Yeah, it was completely accidental from Ryan Gravenberch there. We see it almost every game now in the Premier League. A player just trying to hold him off. It's a wide arm. It's just slightly caught. There's no malice, no real meaningful contact at all. It's just one of those things that happens. Simicast. Van Dijk. To Bradley. Back to Konate. Liverpool just trying to stem a bit of more control. As that ball over the top. Look at this run from Diaz. Flag stays down. Ball across. Trying to return the favour. McAllister can't take the touch. It's still alive. It's bouncing around the box. And somehow cleared away from danger by West Ham. It's crazy how a matter of seconds the game can be completely under control. And in a matter of seconds it can turn into complete chaos. And West Ham somehow scrambled their way out of that mayhem. Here's Salah. Driving the ball across the box. Blocked away. As West Ham try and conjure a counter. Gravenberch trying to stop it. Against Ward-Prowse. Here's Paquetá. Wins the throw in there off Salah. Josh says, how's Jota playing? Not too bad so far. I mean, there's a couple of misplaced passes from Diogo Jota, but he's made some nice runs. So far. Not seen very much of him though. On the ball, but off the ball the press is quite good from Jota. I have to say the press has been quite good from Liverpool so far in this one. Yeah. Nothing remarkable from Jota yet, but as good as he probably could be for not having the ball at the moment. Haven't seen much of him. Here's Bradley. Down the right hand side is Salah. Up against Scarles again. Nightmares he has. There's Ollie Scarles. Jones. Gravenberch back to Curtis Jones. Wide it goes to Bradley again. Liverpool getting a lot of joy in the wide areas, of course. That's where they're getting their opportunities at the moment. It's through the centre where West Ham are trying to squeeze Liverpool, but they're just getting the joy in the wide areas, and whether it be the full-backs, the wingers, or even midfielders coming wide, that's where Liverpool are just getting their extra little bit of opportunity at the moment. An extra little bit of space, as those here's a little bit of space for Ollie Scarles to exploit in attack. Lays it off to Bowen tries to feed it through. Lovely threaded through ball there to Soler, but well beaten to it was Soler by Van Dijk. But the referee's going to give a free kick to West Ham here. Felt Virgil van Dijk, the Liverpool captain, had unfairly dispossessed Carlos Soler there. Say it again. Yeah, I think he does come through Carlos Soler there, does Virgil van Dijk, but well spotted by the referee. West Ham in a good position here. Very rarely they've been up near the Liverpool box in this first half. This is certainly an opportunity. As James Ward-Prowse hasn't scored a free kick since leaving Southampton. There's a long distance out here. He is over at Ward-Prowse, about 27, 28 yards from goal. Wide on the left side. It's within his range, of course it is, but let's see what he can do here with West Ham's biggest chance of the game so far. Ward-Prowse delivers. Van Dijk clears away. And the flag was up anyway against one of the West Ham players in there. Josh just think Ipswich scored again. They have indeed. I was just about to mention that. I just glanced over to my screen. Hold on a second, because here's Salah on the breakaway for Liverpool. Salah driving into the box. Mohamed Salah lays it off. Couldn't find Jones. Again, the amount of bodies in there for West Ham just allowed them to just get away with it. So Liverpool try and counter press to win the ball back again. Yes, Ipswich have doubled their lead against Chelsea. Ipswich beat Chelsea. They're the only team they've beaten at home this season, are Chelsea, for Ipswich. That's remarkable. And they might be doing it again. They might do the league double over Chelsea, which is unbelievable. They are now 2-0 up. Ben Johnson, former West Ham player, of course. Ben Johnson is there, and he scored the second goal for Ipswich. Chelsea 0, Ipswich 2. Wow. Salah. To Bradley. I'd love to have a counter for how many times I've said Salah's name. That's a lovely ball. Oh, McAllister. Shot blocked and well denied by Areola. But again, what a ball by Salah. Absolutely remarkable stuff. Again, it's good work down the right side. Gets a little bit of joy on the bounce. Gives it back to Bradley. Bradley returns the ball to Salah. Gets a little, about 2 yards of space, if that. And just beautifully chips it to perfection towards Alexis McAllister, whose shot ends up being saved by Areola. But that's really fabulous. Really fabulous from Mo Salah again. And unfortunate Liverpool didn't find the net there. Jones. Salah again. Infield to Gravenberch. Jones whips the ball into the box. Oh, targeting Jota. Cleared away by Todibo. Followed in by Tsimikas on the rebound. And the header over the bar by Luis Diaz. Yeah, it's really good work from Liverpool. They're really showing off their best stuff at the minute. Really quality. Just really nice football from Liverpool. Again, from those wide areas, whipping crosses in. On both occasions, Liverpool had a decent opportunity. And they did get a deflection, I shall say, on that Luis Diaz header. So it does come for a corner for Liverpool here on this right-hand side, which will be taken by Tsimikas. Cleared away by Lucas Paquetá at the front post. Bradley, the last man there for Liverpool, just recycles the play. That just says 3-0, lol. I'm not too sure. I think it is still 2-0 to Ipswich. I mean, it would be unbelievable if they went 3-0 up. But you wouldn't put it past them now. What's going on with Chelsea? Inconsistent Chelsea again, it seems. Salah again tries that driving ball diagonally across the kind of forward line. Didn't work out that time to Diaz, but Bradley's there to recycle the play. Gravenberch. Van Dijk. Just over 10 minutes to go with the first half. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0. Alisson taking his time on the ball there. No real rush. Of course, I'm sure Liverpool will be happy to see their main man in between the sticks back. Of course, was only ruled out in the last game due to concussion protocols. That's why he wasn't available for Liverpool. It was no injury of any concern. It's just that the protocols read that 21 days have to kind of surpass before you can play a professional game again after being treated for concussion. So therefore, that ended this week. So he is available to play, and he is playing today. Alisson, of course, no doubt in that he would be back. Of course, Caoimhín Kelleher has done a quite wonderful job as the backup goalkeeper for Liverpool this season when Alisson hasn't been available, and put in a wonderful performance against Everton a number of weeks ago in the derby. Made some big saves as always. Bradley. Salah. Salah trying to chip the ball. Cleared away. Nicely won back by Konate. Committed. Falls here for Salah. In around the box. It's all the way through. Salah brought down. Referee says no penalty. And Areola will collect the ball. But again, it's a real scrambly from West Ham. Liverpool are causing so many problems, and somehow West Ham are going unpunished on a lot of these occasions. They're really riding their luck at the moment, West Ham, because Liverpool are all over them in these certain areas. When they get into the final third, West Ham really don't know what to do when Liverpool get into that area. They can harm them in every which way, and they are trying to at the minute. Liverpool, they're trying everything in the playbook. And they're just a little bit away on every single occasion. It's when it clicks, it will click. It's one of those. Diaz. Gravenberch. Konate. Out wide it goes again to Salah. Linking up with Bradley. Nice give and go. Salah drags back. Not given the chance to get the second one. Bradley across. Cleared away. Bradley trying to battle back again. Lost that to Paquetá on the edge of the West Ham box, and Paquetá tries to find an out ball to Bowen. He's barely had a touch, but he's broke away free here, Bowen, but he's chased back into his own defensive third by the Liverpool press. As the crowd cheer Liverpool on. Second goal at Molineux to tell you about. Wolves have doubled their lead over Tottenham. It is now 2-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Against Spurs this afternoon, and after their real grueling against Eintracht Frankfurt in the week that they drew that Europa League game Sunday afternoon away at Wolves, is something Spurs will see as their kryptonite, and at the minute it's proving so. Oh! The ball through there. I think Kudus was offside anyway, but it hit straight at Alisson. Look at this through ball. Fabulous from Jared Bowen. Perfectly weighted. Yeah, he's miles offside there. Tsimikas knew it. He knew right away, Kostas Tsimikas there, and he's completely right. He was miles offside. See Salah here. Ooh. Yeah, he goes down a little bit easily. Just loses his footing there, Salah. That's why the penalty wasn't given. And it was an offside flag anyway in the build-up. Wouldn't have mattered. Ragewill says Chelsea FC should change their name to Elderly FC. They must be playing like a group of old men, because they're losing to an Ipswich side that have barely picked up good results this season and are all but destined to be returning to the Championship after back-to-back promotions under Kieran McKenna. They're winning today, Ipswich, and nothing's done and dusted yet, mathematically anyway. Here is Bowen. West Ham trying to create something, but that's fabulous defending from Conor Bradley. Gets Liverpool out of trouble as Salah tries to rescue something under pressure. Finds Bradley somehow. Breakaway here for Liverpool. Bradley couldn't find Diaz. Jota picks it up though. Jota wide to Salah. Liverpool on the move here. Salah. Jota. Poor pass back there from Diogo Jota. A little bit short back to Salah. Too many passes. It comes breaking down. That goal by Wolves, by the way, was scored by an own goal from Jed Spence, so more problems for Spurs. Another own goal for them. Jed Spence has given Wolves an extension to their lead. It is 2-0 to Wolverhampton Wanderers. And don't worry, at half-time we will round up the scores elsewhere. We'll look at from what the weekend has already gifted us in terms of results and moments already this weekend and what the impact could be. We'll also talk about Mo Salah's contract situation and that being wrapped up for Liverpool. There's a video on the channel of me talking about that and bringing you right up to date with that. That was uploaded on Friday, so if you want to go and watch the full deep dive into Mo Salah's contract being signed on Friday, you can watch that video that we have on the channel now for you. But we'll talk a bit more about that, get into the real nitty-gritty of it all. That's all to come at half-time. Just under 5 minutes to go, of the first half here at Anfield. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0. Salah. Bradley. Inside. Gives it back to Ibrahima Konate. And now Virgil van Dijk. A little bit laboured there, Van Dijk, but he was not moved by the pressure from Kudus. And West Ham gifting Liverpool a throw in there. A little bit of a sloppy move there from Liverpool. West Ham not punishing them anywhere near and actually gifting them a throw in. But to be fair, Liverpool have been really dominant in this first half. Possession, chances, territory. I mean, West Ham have had one or two decent opportunities themselves to try and get back into the game, but not taking them. Liverpool wanting to make sure they capitalise upon the chances they're creating. Add another to their lead. Just settle, I wouldn't say nerves, but settle the kind of the narrow difference between the two sides, if you would say, at this stage. It is only one goal and anything can still happen. But if you were Liverpool and Arne Slot and the fans inside this stadium, you would just love that second goal just to settle everything a little bit more. Kudus breaking away here. Mohamed Kudus tried to go from distance. Was always arrowing wide. And added a bit of height to it as well there, Mohamed Kudus. Off target. Yeah, it was worth a chance. Worth an opportunity. I didn't have Alisson scrambling at all. He was pretty confident that it was going wide. The Liverpool keeper. Welcome in, Emma. Great to have you with us this afternoon. Thank you very much for watching, and everybody watching this afternoon. Our first game of 2 this afternoon on well, not Super Sunday, that's trademarked. The big Sunday doubleheader here in LFS, our first of 2 games. We have Newcastle against Man United to come at 4:30. Looking forward to that one. Newcastle chasing Europe, chasing Champions League. They've already got European football confirmed with the Carabao Cup win. They're already in the Conference League, guaranteed. They, of course, still have a lot of work to do if they want to get Champions League football. Simicas's ball behind for Jota. He might be offside here. Flag stayed down at the moment. Jota. Back to Diaz, but the flag goes up now. I was expecting it. It looked like Diogo Jota was offside, and he was. Just over a minute or so to go with the first half. A reminder for you, as I just mentioned, Newcastle against Man United is our 4:30 kickoff this afternoon. Newcastle outside the top 5 at the moment after 5th place was confirmed this week to be a Champions League place for the Premier League. So 5th, outside the top 5 is where Newcastle are. They're in 7th at the moment. They can jump up to 4th with a win against United, and if they win their game in hand, they would be as high as 3rd come the end of this week, which would be remarkable for Newcastle United. It's Van Dijk there, having to make a header on a West Ham cross. Puts it behind for the West Ham corner here. It'll be West Ham's first corner of the afternoon, right on the stroke of half-time here at Anfield. James Ward-Prowse to take this corner on the right-hand side. Let's see what West Ham can offer here, although the referee is just going to halt things a little bit for a moment. Andy Madley having a conversation with a couple. I mean, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to see that every week now in the Premier League. 1 added minute at the end of the first half then. Let's see what this corner can produce for the Hammers. James Ward-Prowse on this right side with this corner at the Kop end at Anfield. Whips it in. The header over the bar by Konstantinos Mavropanos. Free header in the middle of the box. Yeah, it's good delivery, good header, or good position to take up the header. Just heads it over the bar. Mavropanos. The goal kick. Cleared by Alisson, and that is the first half done and dusted. A first half which Liverpool have undoubtedly dominated and been the better side, but West Ham are still very much in this game of football with just a 1-goal lead, what Liverpool hold at the interval. Half-time at Anfield, Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0. Analysis on the way next. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0. In this one, as Liverpool look to go 13 points clear at the top once again. Let's see what it looks like elsewhere, as those other two games are still playing in the first half. Chelsea losing 2-0 to Ipswich at the moment. In this first half, goals from Julio Enciso and Ben Johnson have Ipswich with a 2-goal advantage at Stamford Bridge, and Wolves are 2 to the good at home against Tottenham there at Molineux. Ryan Aït-Nouri and a Jed Spence own goal has Wolves with a 2-goal advantage heading into half-time, which it has just gone half-time at Molineux. Just this second. Right, that is this afternoon's action. Yesterday we had 5 games in the Premier League, and let's round those up for you. Let's kind of bring them to clarity for you, because there were 7 goals in the lunchtime kickoff yesterday in that one, in a dramatic game at the Etihad Stadium. Crystal Palace cruised themselves into a 2-goal lead in that one. Berrieza and Chris Richards give Palace a 2-goal lead after 20 minutes, but it was to be 2-2 at the break. Kevin De Bruyne, in what seems to be would have been his last game against Crystal Palace, certainly in a Man City shirt, got one back, and then Omar Marmoush, of course, deputising for the injured Erling Haaland at the moment. He equalised just before half-time, so it was 2-2 at the break. Man City came out and didn't look back. 5 unanswered goals after Palace went 2-0 up, of course. 3 in the second half. Mateo Kovacic, James McAtee and Nico O'Reilly all scoring to make it 5-2 to Manchester City in the end. A commanding result for Manchester City. Their 16th win of the season, and they move back up into the top 5, sit in 4th at the moment on 55 points, but can be leapfrogged this afternoon. At Brighton were held in the end by Leicester. They led Leicester twice, but were pegged back twice, and it ended up finishing that way 2-2. João Pedro, with both penalties either side of a Steffi Mavididi goal, had Brighton 2-1 up in the second half. But Caleb Okoli, the centre-back for Leicester, got an equaliser in the 74th minute, and that was to be enough. Leicester were actually pushing for a winner late on in that game, but it was just a draw in the end for them. And it is really just consolation points at the minute for Leicester, because they would go 17 points adrift of safety if Wolves win this afternoon, which they are currently doing. Everton caused another big scalping of one of the top sides in the league yesterday at the City Ground. A real fortress for Nottingham Forest this season, but not yesterday. Abdoulaye Doucouré with a 94th minute winner, sealing the points for Everton in that very closely fought game. Are Nottingham Forest stumbling when it comes to the business end, and are they able to get over the line and claim Champions League football for next season? At the moment, it looks very tough for them. But they're still in there and still in with a shout. As are Aston Villa, who made it a little bit easier for their hopes of Champions League as they moved up into the top 5 yesterday with a big victory away at Southampton. Already relegated are Southampton, but they needed to wait till the final 15 minutes before they opened the scoring. Villa. Ollie Watkins in the 73rd minute, followed up from a Marco Asensio penalty miss, or saved, by the Southampton goalkeeper minutes earlier. That was 1-0 through Watkins. Donyell Malen then doubled the Villa lead in the 79th minute before John McGinn made it 3 just before full time, and Villa cruising in the end to victory. The big headline maker yesterday, though, was in the late game, in the evening game between Arsenal and Brentford in that London derby. Arsenal, of course, after that massive victory over Real Madrid in midweek, looking to build up and build another Premier League victory. After dropping points last week, they dropped points again, this time at home. They thought they'd open the scoring through Kieran Tierney in the first half. That goal was ruled out by VAR. Thomas Partey then did give Arsenal the lead after 61 minutes before Johan Wissa rescued a point for Brentford. A very big point, and 2 big points dropped for Arsenal. It looks all but academic before the game yesterday that they were going to be beaten to the title once again, this time by Liverpool. But now dropping more points, and Liverpool at home this afternoon in a game they should be winning, and they should win. Seems to be it all over for Arsenal in the title race, if there even was a title race. But Arsenal won, Brentford won. Surely all but seals it for Liverpool, really, coming into this weekend. That was yesterday's results, and let's kind of analyse then the title, not the title race, and the title race in inverted commas, really. You wouldn't really call it a title race at the minute, because Liverpool would go 13 points clear of Arsenal if they are to win this afternoon against West Ham, which they are currently doing. It would put them on 76 points, which would be 13 more than Arsenal's 63. Let's show you what that actually means then. So this is the title race running before kick-off at Anfield this afternoon. So this is what it stood like before 2 o'clock. Liverpool on 73 points, 10 points clear of Arsenal. Much better goal difference, a plus 12 better off goal difference than Arsenal after yesterday. And with 7 games to go of the season, needing just 3 more wins to claim the title. No matter what Arsenal do, Liverpool win their next 3 games and they're champions. But they could claim it next weekend, Liverpool, in the next 2 games, if they win their next 2, and Arsenal lose next Sunday, to Ipswich away from home. If that happens, Liverpool could claim the title next Sunday. If they win against West Ham today, then Arsenal lose to Ipswich next Sunday, and Liverpool beat Leicester next Sunday afternoon. Then Liverpool would be crowned champions next Sunday afternoon, Easter Sunday, away at Leicester. If that doesn't happen, and Arsenal continue to win, if they win next weekend, Arsenal, as I said, no matter what Arsenal do, Liverpool just need to win their next 3 games, including this one against West Ham today, and it would be mathematically impossible for Arsenal to catch them if they beat Tottenham on the 27th of April, which some way is quite poetic that their North London rivals would be the team that would confirm that they would lose the title and not win it once again if they were to lose at Liverpool. But Spurs have their own problems, and I don't think Arsenal will be in the forefront of their minds, but I might be wrong. So that's the way the title running looks. But this is a big story that we broke on Friday afternoon, that we talked about, and after the announcement that Liverpool made that Mo Salah had confirmed a new signing, a new contract for another 2 years, a new 2-year deal until 2027. That was announced on Friday morning. and of course a couple of clips being released beforehand or afterwards about Mo Salah driving to the training ground on the morning of the announcement, saying to a fan that he's not signing the contract, and then following up by yes. And the reactions of the Liverpool fans were quite priceless to that. But a few stats on Salah. He's the top scorer and the most assists provided this season in the Premier League. From him, 27 and 17 before kickoff. Of course, it's 18 now after assisting Luis Diaz's goal in the first half here. It's 184 Premier League career goals for Salah. That's joint fifth on the tally alongside Sergio Aguero. He's only 4 players with more goals in the Premier League in its history than Mo Salah. And they are, of course, Andy Cole on 187, which is very catchable for Salah. Even this season, that could be done and dusted. They could be in the top 4 of goals scored in Premier League history for a single player come the end of this season. He's on 187 as Andy Cole. Wayne Rooney is on 208. Harry Kane on 213. Then, of course, Alan Shearer 260. So Mo Salah could, if he stays the full length of his new contract 2027, it's possible that he could catch Harry Kane and go as the second highest scorer ever in Premier League history. Alan Shearer's at just 76 goals away from him is still a long way off, I would say, but it would be tough even for Mo Salah to beat those numbers. 76 goals over the next 2 seasons and a bit is still a lot of numbers. He would need to break his own records of this season and do even better in the next 2 seasons for that to be possible. You wouldn't put it past him, but it doesn't seem very, very likely. And then quickly, we need to look at the race for Europe before we start the second half at Anfield, before kick-off this afternoon. This is the way the European race looked, with a lot of teams still involved. Nottingham Forest on 57, the gap really closing on them. They're only 4 points in front of 7th place Newcastle at the moment, but have a couple more points on the board than those other teams around them. City in 4th on 55 after that big victory against Palace yesterday. Villa with a big victory away at Southampton, also moving up the table onto 54 now. Chelsea playing today. At the minute they would stay where they are, Chelsea, at the moment, losing to Ipswich at half-time. They're on 53 before kick-off. Newcastle on 53 before they played Man United later, but they have a game in hand on every team around them. So they could end this week, Newcastle, by the end of next week, could be on 59 points, which would put them above every team on that list there. They would be up in 3rd, Newcastle, if they win against United today and then against Palace in midweek. They could be on 59 come Newcastle. Fulham on 48 and Brighton on 48 as well. And Fulham play tomorrow night, so they could still get themselves in on action. If they win away at Bournemouth tomorrow, they could really get themselves back into the mix for European football as well. So it's not done and dusted. Far from that in the race for Europe. Right, that's the way our full roundup has gone. For you, let's recap what's happened elsewhere. Rangers denying Celtic the chance to become champions today with a late equaliser from Yanis Hadji in the 96th minute, getting Rangers a point away at Aberdeen, denying Celtic the title. It means they could still be crowned champions very easily come post-split, but 33 games done and dusted, 15 points the gap at the top for Celtic. They only need, they could lose their next game and still win the title if Rangers don't win their next game. It's all dramatic, but they're not champions today, are Celtic, but it looks all but a matter of time. And speaking of all but a matter of time, it seems to be all but a matter of time for Liverpool to be crowned Premier League champions. They're one up at the break, and they want to better that. The second half's on the way next. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Premier League Live. Half time at Anfield. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0. Second half on the way very, very shortly this afternoon, but still to come. Our second game of the day is at St James's Park. Newcastle chasing Champions League and could jump up into the top 5 with a win this afternoon against a Manchester United side sitting in the doldrums of 13th in the table. And even if they win this afternoon, they wouldn't go higher than 13th, no matter what happens at St James's Park. Newcastle against Manchester United is at 4:30. A reminder for the scores elsewhere before we get the second half started at Anfield. Half time it's Chelsea 0, Ipswich 2, Wolves 2, Spurs 0 at the break. It's 1-0 to Liverpool here, and they want to add to that lead and get themselves another 3 points and another step closer to a second Premier League title in 5 years, and their 20th title in English football overall, which would be joint alongside Manchester United in terms of those tallies, and something Liverpool have been craving for the last many a year, and they're only surely just a number of weeks, even possibly 7 days if results go their way, away from lifting and crowning themselves as Premier League champions once again. And for a number of players for the very first time for Liverpool, but a few of them still possibly the second time: Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andy Robertson, etc., etc., would all be crowned Premier League champions for the second time at Liverpool, and a number of them for their very first time. It's set to come. Liverpool kept us waiting there. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already, and we greatly appreciate each and every one of you who's joining us this afternoon for this one. It's a big game at Anfield, and at the moment Liverpool are leading, but nothing's set in stone just yet at this minute in time, and of course that big game to come a little later on. So thank each and every one of you for joining us. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. As we're back underway then at Anfield, Liverpool kicking towards the Kop ends in the second half, as is tradition at Anfield. And they've already commanded that first half. They've dominated the first 45, but only one goal to show for it, and having a number of chances to maybe add to that lead. Here's Tsimikas with an early chance, and he's brought down in the edge of the box there. Will be a free kick. Jean-Claire Todibo committing that foul. Tsimikas, tricky feet there. Lovely little bit of footwork there from the Greek. Yeah, he stepped away from Todibo, left a foot hanging, and he got the free kick, edge of the box. Liverpool get the free kick here. Early opportunity. West Ham did have one or two half chances before half time. Try and test Liverpool and keep them honest. It's McAllister and Tsimikas over this free kick for Liverpool. Wide to the left, right on the edge of the box, on the left hand side here, exactly about 19 yards out. Very wide to the left. Whistle's gone, waiting on someone to take it. Alexis McAllister hits one. Oh, great save by Areola. Punches it away. It was heading towards the net, but a great save by Areola denies Alexis McAllister, as Bradley does well, holds on to the ball under pressure. Jones now feeds it into Bradley in the inside run again. Salah out wide, chips it over the top, looking for the run of McAllister. He made that nice run and got the block off Max Kilman. It will be a Liverpool corner. See this free kick again, right footed for McAllister, whipping beautifully into towards that near post, or that near corner. I think Areola's got something to it. It just denies him. Ooh. Comes off the crossbar as well from that free kick. Here's Tsimikas with the corner. Left-footed delivery. Fletter. Oh, header cleared away by West Ham. And the second time they clear the lines long, all the way back to the last man for Liverpool and Connor Bradley. Started the second half probably as they would have wanted to, Liverpool. Keeping West Ham penned in. Maybe having one or two half chances to start the half just to settle their way back into the game. After a little bit of a shaky end of the first half. Wouldn't quite say rickety, but you would say that West Ham had starting to rattle the ship a little bit. Here's Jota. Nice giveaway here out wide to Tsimikas, and now Diaz down the left hand channel up against Todibo, leaves him for dead. Diaz, can he cut it back? Can't get the whip on it, can't get it back across goal, just goes wide, hits the side netting. Again, it's good break down that left hand side. Again, it's West Ham fullback on toast, Liverpool winger bursting away into space. Just this time Luis Diaz's own touch beats his own pace, and it goes behind for a goal kick in the end. That's what I said. That's where they get their advantage. That's where they've had their advantage, Liverpool, so far, is in the wide areas. There's Diaz there tussling with Todibo. Todibo under real pressure and had nowhere to go. That's just fabulous pressing from Luis Diaz, and he wins Liverpool the throw-in. High up on this left-hand side. We have a goal at Stamford Bridge to tell you about. Ipswich with a 2-goal lead. That has now been halved. Axel Tuanzebe with an own goal has given Chelsea a little bit of a bounce back. At Chelsea 1, Ipswich 2 at the Bridge. Van Dijk. Tsimikas. Give and go there. Not quite reaching Luis Diaz on the return there from Curtis Jones. Jones does well though. Beats his man, wins it back, although it's going to be brought back for a foul. Didn't look like a foul to me. Looked a bit soft in my eyes, but yeah, he just kind of uses his body to try and beat Todibo off the ball, and I don't think he does much wrong there, Curtis Jones, in my opinion. The referee thought so. Free kick to West Ham was given. Bit of West Ham possession here. At the back, Wan-Bissaka to Todibo. Back to Mavropanos. Todibo. Well, Liverpool have one of their longest winning streaks at home against any side against West Ham. They've won the last 9 home games against West Ham in all competitions, the last 7 in the Premier League in a row. Quite convincingly. The last 2 meetings here have actually come in the Carabao Cup. In the last 2 seasons, they've both met in the same competition here at Anfield for 2 consecutive seasons, and the scoreline was the same, 5-1 to Liverpool on both occasions in those cup games. Oh, as Liverpool lost the ball there through Jones centrally. A little bit of space here for Wan-Bissaka to try and exploit. Finding Kudus. Now wide it goes to Scarles on this left hand side. Ollie Scarles steps inside. A bit of a loose pass as Jota battling, but couldn't win it back. Off Lucas Paquetá that time, the Liverpool centre forward. Paquetá threads it through for Bowen. Good block by Van Dijk, but the flag was up anyway against Jared Bowen. As I was saying then about this one, so Liverpool have won 9 in a row at home against West Ham, 7 in the Premier League, dating back to December 28, 2016, when they drew 2-2 here. That was the last time West Ham came away from Anfield with anything. The last time they won here was back in August 2015, when both sides were down to 10 men in that game, and West Ham won 3-0 that day. That's the last time that Liverpool lost at home to West Ham in any game. The cross from Tsimikas right into the box caused issues, which Max Kilman wanted to clear, but could only clear it behind for the corner. I think we're in a crucial moment now in this game where, of course, the next goal's huge. It goes without saying at 1-0, but we're in this spell of both teams are maybe edging a little bit closer to finding the net. Liverpool obviously would say would have the advantage a little bit more than West Ham considering their start, but West Ham still looking a little bit of a threat on the break and could cause a Liverpool problem. But I think, as I said, if they add to their lead, Liverpool, it will just settle them a little bit more and just give them that little bit of air of confidence back into their lead and maybe a bit more commanding with their lead. So here's McAllister with a corner, whipped in, headed away by Kilman, brought down by Gravenberch, fed it wide to McAllister, who tried to chip the keeper. Oh, it was dipping, and it wasn't too far away in the end, as Areola had to be called into action. I think it was a cross actually from McAllister, but it turned into some sort of shot, and Areola wasn't having his Jordan Pickford moment there. He was getting it clear over the bar, and he did so for another Liverpool corner. That cross-turn shot from McAllister certainly had Areola worried. And he gets another corner here for Liverpool. Right-footed, whipped in again, bouncing down, and no one in red can convert it. As the ball bouncing up in the air, Gravenberch grappling with his man, trying to win it back. Still grappling are Liverpool, trying to spin it away was Paquetá, who went down. The referee says no foul, and Van Dijk comes away with it now. Breaking forward, here's Van Dijk. Wasn't on the same page as Salah on the return ball. And that attack breaks down. As now Kudus has it. Trying to hold it up a little bit for West Ham as they go back to Kilman. To Debo. To Wan-Bissaka. Ward-Prowse back to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Feeds it through, finding Soler. Drifting forward. Nice vertical passing here from West Ham in between the lines. And there was a potential handball check as well in the box. John Brooks, the VAR, was checking for a possible handball against a West Ham player, but that was checked and cleared. It didn't look anything too untoward to me, or too out of the ordinary. West Ham probably their best spell of possession here in the second half anyway. It's Paquetá. Hit it straight at Gravenberch, but he's got it back and finds Kudus. He has to go back himself to Ward-Prowse. This is a decent spell here from West Ham. Wan-Bissaka down the right side. Finds the ball past Tsimikas, but McAllister does well. Tussling to Debo and denying him a chance to get anywhere near the box. And Liverpool get the goal kick. See this handball moment again. Ooh. Oh, well. I'll see this again. I don't know, you know. James Ward-Prowse has his arm in the air. I mean, it's slightly harsh if it was given, but again, by the letter of the law, which I thought the referees were working on, if the arm is out from his body and it makes clear contact with the ball that changes the direction of the ball, it would be a penalty kick, but clearly not. Maybe I've got that one wrong, but clearly not. I agree. It would be. I would say it would be harsh to give it, but by the letter of the law, who knows? Anyway, change for West Ham here. Ollie Scarlett is coming off, the fullback, and Vladimir Sofal is coming on to replace him. So some more experience at wing back. Ollie Scarlett has had a torrid day. He's really struggled. And look, it's Mo Salah. If Mo Salah's on form, any fullback in Premier League football would struggle, but it's hard on the young player. And I think Graham Potter has seen that and decided to just go for a bit more experience now. Maybe just to try and stifle Salah a little bit more. And they've actually swapped sides. Wan-Bissaka's come over to the left and Sofal's gone to the right. So a swapping of the wing backs anyway from West Ham's point of view. And Liverpool are going to make some alterations of their own shortly. As they're pressing West Ham deep in their own half here. That's well pressed, Liverpool, and Van Dijk coming to win the ball back high up for Liverpool. Now Konate. Bradley. 58 minutes gone. Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0. Virgil van Dijk. Still another one of those, well, two now, that remain on the list to get contracts for Liverpool renewed. Of course, we don't know what's happening with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Who bloody knows anymore what's going on there? Progress, Van Dijk said last week on his contract situation. Nothing new has come out of that in the past 6 or 7 days. We'll see if anything changes in the coming weeks, as we probably expect it to. I think we're expecting Virgil van Dijk, from the reports that we're receiving, that he will sign a new contract. But the announcement is the one that is in the waiting. As they're going to make a double change here, Liverpool. Andy Robertson and Cody Gakpo are going to be coming on. Diogo Jota's going to be the first one to make way, as will Kostas Tsimikas. So I believe that would put Luis Diaz centre forward for Liverpool, Gakpo on the left side, and then of course Andy Robertson a straight swap at left back for Kostas Tsimikas, who has played well today. Tsimikas, both defence and attack. But some fresh legs for Liverpool, just to try and give them that little bit of an extra boost, with just over a half an hour to go here at Anfield. And 1 goal lead, and they want to try and add to that. Cody Gakpo, who has a very good record actually against West Ham United in recent times. He scored 2 goals against them in the 5-1 victory in the Carabao Cup this season, and scored against them in the Carabao Cup last season. So he scored 3 goals in his last 2 appearances against West Ham here at Anfield. In the 5-0 victory for Liverpool in the reverse fixture of this one this season at the London Stadium, Cody Gakpo scored the 2nd goal. So overall, in his last 3 meetings with West Ham, he scored 4 goals, has Cody Gakpo. So certainly one you want on the pitch if you're a Liverpool, from a Liverpool perspective, try and add another goal to their tally. So Bradley there had to deal with a little bit of an awkward one. Did get it away from relative danger with Paquetá. And one thing about this, I think Arne Slot knows that West Ham are still very much in this game, and Liverpool aren't out of the woods yet, in a sense. They are winning, of course, but they're not convincingly, if you know what I mean. They're not done and dusted. They're not over the line by any stretch of the imagination. As there's another goal at Molineux to tell you about. Van Dijk's clearance there, a little bit awkward. Here's Bowen, gets it across. Oh! And that's a rocket of an effort well over the bar from Carlos Soler. It's awkward from Virgil van Dijk, really. Probably should just let that ball bounce to his goalkeeper. I mean, Bowen was onside anyway. But he goes with the wrong foot, Van Dijk. He goes with the right foot, which actually helps Bowen into space, rather than going with his left, which actually helps it back to his goalkeeper. Makes it a little bit awkward for Liverpool defensively. And Bowen's cutback sent well over the bar by Carlos Soler. But West Ham are still very much in this match, and that's another little glimpse of it. As Matthias Tell has got one back for Tottenham against Wolves. So it's Wolves 2, Tottenham 1. Matthias Tell with the goal there for Tottenham. So all 3 of our 2 o'clock kickoffs are all 1 goal in it at the minute. It's Gravenberch there beating off a player. Jones to McAllister. A nice space here for Andy Robertson down the left side. Out wide to Gakpo. Up against Sofal. Cody Gakpo steps inside. Plays it off to Robertson. Trying to return the ball. But Sofal did well. Tracking inside. And blocked that pass from Robertson to Gakpo. And get West Ham out of a little bit of trouble there. This is the thing. West Ham are actually starting to cause a little bit of a problem Liverpool not maybe creating as many chances in the second half as they did in the first. On top of that, they need to be more clinical when they do get forward, Liverpool, to find another goal. That's why West Ham are still very much in this. They're performing like they're not losing. They're performing like they believe they're very much in this game. And they are. There's a reason to, because they are only 1-0 down. As Gravenberch tries to spread the pitch, but a ball too far ahead of Cody Gakpo, and Areola will just clear his lines comfortably. Robertson there with the header, but the second ball won by West Ham. Liverpool just need that little bit of injection into the game, and that's why I think Arne Slot made those changes. One, to react to the West Ham change, but also just give his team a little bit of an injection of pace, a little bit of injection of something in the final third. It's Bradley there battling with Wan-Bissaka. Bradley coming out on top on that occasion. Again, the referee saying no issue with the challenge. Just getting shots of the players and teams arriving at St James's Park for our later game at 4:30. Newcastle against Manchester United is a 4:30 kickoff, and we'll have team news should be in right now actually for that one, and that game is just over an hour away for that one, and we'll give you that team news when we're live for that game at 4:30. Another goal at Molineux, while McAllister's just gone down there after being caught. It's a third goal, or a fourth goal in the game, but a third for Wolves. They've restored their 2-goal advantage from what I'm hearing. There's maybe a VAR check ongoing, but it is 3-1 to Wolves, and it is confirmed. Jørgen Strand Larsen has again extended Wolves' lead back to 2 goals after Spurs got one back. So it is 3-1 to Wolves. It's going from bad to worse for Spurs this season. Who thought it could get any worse, but it is. As Woodson says, come on boys. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0, 25 to go. As McAllister is back to his feet and is okay to continue. Salah wanted to return the ball to Bradley, but Bradley was fouled off the ball, and Liverpool will get the free kick. I think the crowd were wanting a yellow card for that challenge, but just a free kick, of which McAllister will take. And Arne Slot giving Ryan Gravenberch a little bit of information at the moment, as it looks like Jarell Quansah is getting himself ready on the sidelines there for Liverpool. Let's see what McAllister can do here from this set piece. Right-footed, whipped into the box, headed away by West Ham. Brought down on the left side here by Gakpo. Feeded through, and the ball came bobbling its way through to Alphonse Areola, who comfortably got it away of danger now with Kudus. Paquetá does well in the midfield there, stepping away from danger. And now the through ball. Here's Bowen in on goal! Alisson with a big save. I don't know if the flag was going to go up or not. But that was beautiful from Paquetá, beating his way past the press in midfield. And I think he was onside there, Bowen. Big save by Alisson. Needed to be made. But that's where West Ham can and have caused Liverpool problems today. When there's been space in midfield, that's when problems are caused, and the flag didn't go up. It's actually gone out for a West Ham corner from Alisson's save. So a corner to West Ham here, only their second corner of the game. Quarter of this game to go, and they're still undoubtedly in the fight here, as Liverpool are going to make another double change. Curtis Jones and Connor Bradley are going to make way. And you get applauded off the field. Dominic Szoboszlai and Jarell Quansah will be coming on in their places. So Quansah going to right back, and Szoboszlai just replacing Curtis Jones in the Liverpool midfield. Let's see what those two substitutions can inject. So far, the other two subs from Liverpool, Robertson and Gakpo, haven't really stamped their authority on the game since coming on about 7 or 8 minutes ago. West Ham have a corner here, left-hand side, Anfield Road end, where their fans are. Right-footed delivery. Oh, all the way through it out the other ends. And I think it's going to go for a goal kick as Alisson is caught in there as well. See it again. Oof. See that again? Alisson colliding maybe with Jared Bowen. Is that a foul on Alisson? I mean, maybe. Either way, it was going for a goal kick anyway. Didn't really matter. Alisson just coming back from concussion. Doesn't want to be whacked for another concussion. And that time he was okay. Konate wins a confident header in midfield. McAllister spreading the ball wide to Gakpo in space. Down this left-hand side is Liverpool on the move here. Gakpo driving inside. Plays it onto Diaz. Took a heavy touch, which broke down that Liverpool attack. They were forward with numbers there, Liverpool, for a moment. As Alisson comes claiming and boots away of danger. Paquetá. He seems to be running this game for West Ham. Anything positive that West Ham can conjure up, it's all coming through Lucas Paquetá at the minute. He is the real creative force for the Hammers. Certainly so far this afternoon he has been. Mavropanos over the top. And right out the other end for a goal kick to Liverpool. 20 to go. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0. West Ham have had 8 shots in the game. Liverpool have had 10. They've only had 1 shot in the second half, Liverpool. So really haven't kicked on from where they were in the first half. All it takes is one moment, though. McAllister. And stopped in his tracks well there by the backtracking of West Ham. Ariola's clearance, won by Van Dijk. But again, the second ball given away by Liverpool cheaply, and they're a little bit caught here. Wan-Bissaka feeds it back through. Kudus across! All the way through and out the other end, and Robertson rescues it for a throw, or a goal kick, sorry. But West Ham are really upping the tempo, and Liverpool are just not matching them at the moment. Really, really not good from Liverpool's point of view. And we talk about how important a second goal needs to be, and it will be for Liverpool if they try and find it. But at 1-0, it's been said all afternoon, I've said it all day, at 1-0, it's a dangerous, dangerous scoreline to try and see out against any Premier League team. And Liverpool just need that second goal to settle themselves, because the longer it stays at 1, West Ham will grow even more in confidence and will be desperate to try and find that equalising goal to maybe spoil the day for Liverpool. It's a good header won by Diaz. Here is Gakpo. Flicks it round the corner. Diaz at the byline. Cuts it across. Oh, it's out the other end from West Ham. No one really got any connection on it in the box there from the Hammers. I think Liverpool just need to have a little bit more control of the ball. West Ham have broken up Liverpool possession too many times in the last 5, 10, 15 minutes, and it's just not allowed Liverpool to get a bit of rhythm that they had in the first half, which gave them that opportunity and those chances and that rhythm to keep creating chances to try and find another goal. And they just not had the ball consistently enough in the final third, Liverpool, in this second half to really cause too many goal-mouth problems for West Ham. That's something they really need to try and find. Areola goes long. Nice header one by Konate, and Salah brought it down, but there's going to be a stoppage here with a collision between Konate and one of the West Ham players. It's Paquetá just colliding there, the two. And both back to their feet and okay, but referee had to make sure both were okay before playing on. Thankfully both are good to go. Watchalong just gets the drop ball there for Liverpool. Van Dijk, Robertson, back to Alisson, forces in the midfield, nicely taken by Gravenberch on the turn, and now McAllister wide to Gakpo, just about kept in. Again, lots of bodies back for West Ham right away. As Gravenberch finds Quansah. Gravenberch, Robertson, Gravenberch. Just over 15 minutes to go. Liverpool having the possession in and around the final third of West Ham, but not able to get through at the minute. Well, that's nice play between the lines. Here's Szoboszlai, Quansah, wide it goes to Salah. Salah try to get the ball to Diaz, gets a deflection which wins Liverpool a corner. Haven't said Mo Salah's name as much in the second half as I did in the first. Only 4 touches in the second half so far for Mo Salah. So has really been seen out of the game tactically. Liverpool just haven't been able to get the ball to him enough in this second half. When Mo Salah does get the ball, he really will cause problems. No question. And it's McAllister to take this corner. It's Liverpool's 8th corner of the match. McAllister whips the ball in high. Again, cleared away by West Ham. Again, that's one thing with Liverpool this season. They actually have been really poor from. And I don't want to kind of start criticising the league leaders and seemingly the inevitable champions, but that's one thing that they'll want to improve themselves, is their ability to score from set pieces. You know, corners have been really poor this season from Liverpool in terms of their scoring records from corners. And I think that's something that they'll want to improve on. Obviously, there's a lot to improve on, obviously, this season, but of course, the champions, they'll not worry about that right away. But it is something I've noticed where under Jurgen Klopp, and I know we don't want to keep doing this, but you know, it is still Arne Slot's first season, and it is a big change. It's a massive change in the way Liverpool attack, because Liverpool used to love winning set pieces, free kicks, corners, and really used to threaten. They used to be one of the best sides in scoring from corners in the Premier League. When in their last title-winning season, they were certainly that. And sometimes getting a goal from a corner won them games. And it's set pieces that are the fine margins in football. And it's those fine margins that Liverpool aren't finding the extra goal in, aren't maybe alleviating a little bit of pressure. And sometimes it might not win you a game, but a set piece goal, say they got a goal from a corner here, it would give them that second goal, and it would just give them that little bit of a release. Whereas they don't have that outlet. So it's one less outlet to try and find and score a goal this season. Soler driving up the middle here. He's found Kudus in the box. Liverpool scrambling it away with Van Dijk again. Really, Liverpool are on tender hooks here at the minute. I really don't know what's going on. It's not looking good at all. Soler, lovely through ball. Wan-Bissaka blocked by Konate at the byline. West Ham have come alive here, and Liverpool are seemingly dying on their backsides at the minute. I mean, it's really poor. They try and press wide, and it just leaves a gaping hole in the middle for Soler to drive up the middle. I mean, it's basic stuff. Try and cover all bases, especially when you've got a man on the ball that could drive up the middle. As they're going to make a double change here, Nicholas Füllkrug's going to come on and replace... he's coming on, Füllkrug. as is Luis Guillermo. So a double substitution here for the Hammers. Soler and Todibo are coming off, and Fulkrug and Guillermo are coming on. Double substitution. And with this corner, an extra aerial threat, Nicholas Fulkrug will be welcomed by West Ham. Corner whipped in, back post, headed away by Konate. And a bit of pressure on Guillermo, and his first touch there by Salah. And in the end, West Ham make a mess of it down the right side. Liverpool get the throw in. And you got to say, what we said early in the season about Liverpool is they not started slow, but they started level, and then they grew into the game. Whereas I think in this recent form of them maybe being below par, they've actually started really well, but then not improved, not leveled it, or actually got better. They've actually gone down as the game's gone on. And that's something that's actually a bit concerning, in the fact that they start really well, yes, get an early goal, get something to give them a boost, but then they just go like that. And I wouldn't say it as far as nosedive, but they kind of just dribble their way out of the game. And they kind of just fall away, and that's a bit of a concern. Now, I'm not trying to create any unnecessary drama or unnecessary things, but I'm just saying what I see, and I've noticed it a little bit more in recent games from Liverpool's point of view. You know, we talk about the Everton game, they started really well. And they kind of fell away in that one and trying to hold on late for the winner against Everton in a narrow game. Fulham, they started really well, got the early goal, and then had a load of mistakes. They maybe tried to come back late in that game, so that's maybe bucked the trend a little bit. But again, they fell away in a moment and then tried to get back up and really couldn't conjure something back because the damage was done. It almost seems like Liverpool are getting the lead and then trying to hold on and see it out. And I don't think that's intentional. I just think that's just the way the game has gone for Liverpool. Whether they're resting on their laurels or whether they're not feeling that they need to exert themselves too much. But you got to say, it's something that's coming a little bit more common. And I think Arne Slot will notice it, will know it, and will certainly want to stamp it out and get rid of it. And try and get his consistency from his side, both first and second half, and right through the 90 minutes. Because we've not seen it. Again, really dominant in the first half, getting that goal. Probably maybe should have had one or two more. But then in the second half, just like that. They've barely had anything of any real intent in and around the West Ham box in this second half. And that's a little bit of a concern from a Liverpool point of view. And look, it's not an awful trait to have. If you get over the line and you see it through, then it's still a very big positive, because you've still done the hard work and still got the 3 points, and you've not really had to exert yourself for a whole half of football. So overall, if you come out with the 3 points, it's a massive positive. But you're not always guaranteed that. No matter how good you are, the Premier League is so close and so competitive that when you leave yourself in a position of 1-0 up, as they are now, with 8.5 minutes to go, you do give the opposition a little bit of a boost and going, well, they're only 1-0 up, we can battle back, we can get a point out of this game, we can come away with something. You give the opposition belief and hope that they can come away with something, which makes it even more difficult. But as I said, if Liverpool do come away with the 3 points, you do grind out those results, that is actually the sign of champions, in the fact that you may not play at your best, you may not play your best football, but you still come away with the 3 points, and that's what matters. And I think performances are, yes, what you want. You want to be at your very best, but it's about, at the business end of the season, it's about getting results. And especially when you're on a title race chance and you're cruising at the top of the Premier League and you just want to get over the line and get the title won, it's all about just getting the points no matter what. And at the moment it seems like Liverpool are eyeing up that opportunity. Not intentionally, I don't think at all Liverpool have just thought, oh, we go 1-0 up and just sit back, don't try and go for a second, because they have tried, but I think it's just not worked out in the second half that they have found a second. As Andy Robertson's down here, a little collision with Virgil van Dijk has him down receiving treatment. which gives me time to tell you there's been another goal at Stamford Bridge just in the last few seconds, and it has gone the way of Chelsea. They've levelled the game. They've been pushing ever so desperately for an equaliser in the second half, and eventually it has come their way. Jadon Sancho has got the leveller, so it is 2-2, Chelsea 2, Ipswich 2 in that one at Stamford Bridge. As Andy Robertson's back to his feet after receiving treatment, and should be okay to continue. Excuse me. Looks like Wataru Endo is coming on for Liverpool, and it's going to be for Mo Salah, I believe. Yeah, number 11 on that board. So Mo Salah coming off, and Wataru Endo coming on. Applauded raucously by the crowd after signing his new contract on Friday. And he set up a goal that could be crucial for Liverpool picking up 3 points today. Setting up the goal that got Luis Diaz the finish to give Liverpool the lead, and what could be the winning goal ultimately in this game. His 45th goal involvement of the campaign in the Premier League for Mo Salah. And he's been replaced by Wataru Endo in the midfield. So a little bit of rejigging from Liverpool. It looks like Diaz has gone to the right, Szoboszlai through the middle, and Gakpo on the left. Or whatever it is, Liverpool have done a bit of rejigging as Wataru Endo wins the header from the restart. And in the end actually gives away a free kick and giving the ball away. Free kick here for West Ham then, around about the centre circle. 5 minutes of normal time to go. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0. The crowd trying to carry their side over the line, singing along in the very deep Anfield songbook. Just trying to do anything to get their team over the line and get another victory under their belt. There's the ball over the top here from Paquetá, finding Wan-Bissaka, who crosses in, and it's gone in off one of the Liverpool players, I think. I think it's an own goal. I think it might be Andy Robertson, and West Ham are level. Would you believe it? Liverpool left themselves open, and West Ham have burst through the door and look to be trying to rescue a point out of this game. From a dominant start, might be all falling away because West Ham, undoubtedly you would say, probably deserve something out of this game. Lovely ball over the top. Wan-Bissaka makes the beautiful run, cross into the box, and it's just poorly dealt with by Liverpool. It's Andy Robertson trying to clear it away and actually cleans it into his own net. Liverpool 1, West Ham 1, and it's all of Liverpool's own doing. And you just really have to speak about the fact that Liverpool once again have left the door ajar, and West Ham have taken their opportunity. Maybe a bit fortunate, but maybe something they probably deserved, especially with this second half performance from the Hammers. But it's awful from Andy Robertson's point of view. But the crowd haven't given up yet. Neither have Liverpool. Gakpo, Szoboszlai, Gakpo into the box. Falls here for Kwanzaa. Now Luis Diaz. Deflection. Oh, what a save. What a save by Areola. The deflection looked like it was going to take it in off Diaz. And the goalkeeper, does he make a touch? He might actually not make a touch. It goes over the crossbar. From the deflection, it will be a corner. So peg back. And Liverpool want to fight back. Now, there's a lot going on at Molineux. I have no time to tell you about it, but there's a couple of goals. I'll tell you about that when I have the chance. It's McAllister with this corner for Liverpool. Right-footed. Oh, bouncing around. Oh. Diaz keeps it alive. Chips it in. Across. Kwanzaa. Bouncing around still. Van Dijk keeps it alive. Calls a handball. I don't think there's anything going to be done there, as Kudus comes away with it for West Ham. And McAllister doesn't give away a foul. McAllister almost beating the keeper of the front post. Another deflection which gets Liverpool another corner. Yeah, Paquetá jumps to the ground there. He falls over himself. McAllister delivers into the box and took a deflection on the way through. Goes behind for another corner. Something's ignited Liverpool here all of a sudden. Where was this in the second half? McAllister. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. The Liverpool captain could be the hero for Liverpool at Anfield. West Ham looked like they were claiming a point from an own goal. And it's the captain that stands tallest and fires it into the back of the net. Wonderful and much needed. When that equaliser came straight from the restart, something was ignited in Liverpool to make sure this game didn't get away from them. They pounded and pounded and pounded at West Ham, and eventually, after a couple of minutes of attacking relentlessly, they find the back of the net through their captain from a corner. Elite mentality, champions-like quality. That is what Liverpool need to show, and that is what their captain is showing. Liverpool 2, West Ham United 1, and it's all at the hands and off the head of Virgil van Dijk. There it is. 7 added minutes there will be added on. So the game's not done and dusted yet. But my goodness, what a moment. There have been many a late winner at Anfield over the years. This might be one that might go down to be remembered, along with many that have happened before. And Virgil van Dijk might have just done it again. As West Ham now try and battle back to rescue a point again. They've given it away cheaply there, and a little bit of a fortunate bounce from McAllister, who gets brought down. No foul, said the referee there. As Konate gets rid, clears away as McAllister stayed down. Gravenberch in the end gets very little contact on West Ham's player and gets a free kick given against him. Make that make sense. Anyway, goals elsewhere. I need to calm myself down again. Just relax. Relax. 7 added minutes, 6 minutes to go. Wolves, what's going on between Wolves and Tottenham? An unbelievable game. 4-2 to Wolves. So it was 3-1 the last time we updated you. Richarlison got one back for Tottenham, maybe trying to conjure up a late comeback. Then minutes after, like this last time they got one back, Spurs, Wolves go up the other end and get another one back. They're back in front, 4-2, back 2 goals in front, shall I say, Wolves 4-2. Matez Cunha with a 4th goal. It is Wolves 4, Tottenham 2. And if every time Tottenham try and fight back, Wolves just respond again and battle back and give them another piece of their mind. 4-2 at Molineux there. But Virgil van Dijk would be the headline maker. You always need that type of moment in a season. I said how Liverpool need to find a way of grinding out a result and finding a way. That's what champions do. That's what the best in the business do, is find a way to win no matter what. And after being pegged back with 5 minutes to go with an own goal, Liverpool's heads could have easily dropped. But that's the elite mentality you have to be Premier League champions. No matter what happens at any time in the game, it's never done and dusted. And Liverpool know that more than any other team. And once again, it looks like they're going to get that late winner that will carry them over the line. There's still 4 minutes of the 7 added to go. There's a long way to go and out of time. And I'm sure, obviously, that goal's got the crowd up. It had been a little bit flat. The atmosphere, I don't want to be too critical, but the atmosphere a little bit flat at Anfield so far this afternoon. And maybe in the second half, deservedly so. The fact that their team really weren't showing them much to cheer about or to really get excited about in this second half. But they're certainly excited now. As West Ham have the ball, they're still going. They're trying to rescue something off the crossbar again. Quansah to clear, still alive. Diaz trying to battle for something. Kudus trying to dribble his way through. Liverpool not wanting to give away the foul, but they're battling for every single ball at West Ham. Wan-Bissaka does really well. Now Kilman. I mean, where has this West Ham team been? As Konate gets up, clears it away, and is going to be given the free kick for being caught late there, as the ball was already well clear. And it's going to be a free kick to Liverpool. Well, it's quite remarkable that Liverpool had one shot in the whole of the second half before West Ham had scored. When they equalised, Liverpool had 5 shots in the matter of 3 or 4 minutes. That's mental. That's what I mean by something was just ignited in Liverpool when they conceded. And they did not give up relentlessly until they found the goal back that got them back in front again. That's elite mentality. I mean, you shouldn't be getting yourself in that position in the first place to have to do that, but you know, needs must. It's Premier League football. You just have to roll with the kind of the punches in a sense. And West Ham certainly gave them a little bit of a blow, a little bit of a punching, shall I say? I'll rephrase that. A little bit of a punching and to cause that equaliser, and then of course Liverpool bouncing back to take the lead again. And they're just now trying to run down the clock. And who can blame them? You know, you're winning 2-1 into added time. You don't want to blame them for now just being a little bit more cautious with their approach to Liverpool. Just not trying to go gung-ho. Just see it out and get it over the line. Get it done and dusted. Here's Guilherme down the right-hand side for West Ham. They've not given up yet, the Hammers. But Gravenberch there to intercept. And now try and carry away up the field for Liverpool to get them out of danger. Lovely little footwork. And ends up getting pushed out of bounds, out of the play there, by Vladimir Sofal. It's going to be a free kick to Liverpool, which will waste every little single second, will be precious. And Sofal's going to get himself booked for dissent there against the referee. Just a bit of dissent from Vladimir Sofal. A little bit of frustration. And it's his 3rd yellow card of the season. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. And we thank each and every one of you for joining us this afternoon for this one. Don't forget, our second game of the day is on the way very shortly. Newcastle against Man United at St James's Park. That's at 4:30 this afternoon. So less than, around about just over half an hour away for that one. As it's finished at Molineux, 4-2 to Wolves. Still going between Chelsea and Ipswich at the bridge. 2-2 it is there. Is there a winner on the cards for either of those two teams? At the minute, Liverpool 2-1 up against West Ham at Anfield. Oh, Konate's clearance. Far from convincing there. 30 seconds or so to go. Ball into the box. And too close to Alisson, who catches easily. And surely that might be that for Liverpool here. There's not surely much time left in this one. Long kick by Alisson. All eyes on the referee, Andy Madley now. The anticipation palpable. And there it is. The final whistle goes. And Virgil van Dijk's goal in the 89th minute was enough for Liverpool to get over the line. They thought they were going to be pegged back today, and it was going to be another day of disappointment for Liverpool as they edge closer to the title. But in the end, it turns out to be a day that comes out with joy as Virgil van Dijk finds the net with his head, as he has done so often for Liverpool before, and so crucially for Liverpool before. But today, one of those most crucial of goals that gets Liverpool over the line. And another 3 points and one step closer to another Premier League title. Just 2 wins away now, and that is if Arsenal don't fall away themselves even further than they already have. 2 more, and it could be the case that if Arsenal do win their game next weekend, the next time Liverpool play here at Anfield, they could be crowned on the day Premier League champions. That is how tantalisingly close it is. But today, it's 1 step closer and another 3 points closer to their ultimate goal of lifting and seeing their name written in gold at the end of the season. Final score from Anfield: Liverpool 2, West Ham United 1. There you are. The final score at Anfield. Liverpool coming out on top. Narrowly so, but they did it nonetheless. And Virgil van Dijk with a winner. A crucial moment that gets Liverpool all 3 points. Elsewhere, it is finished in those 2 other games that kicked off at 2 o'clock, apologies. Chelsea held in the end by Ipswich, having come from 2-0 down, to be fair, from Chelsea. 2-0 down, coming back to rescue a point out of Ipswich in that one. And Wolves, in the end, thumping Spurs by 4-2. Every time Spurs thought they were back in the game, Wolves just gave them another body blow and took a 2-goal lead back again. It finished Wolves 4, Spurs 2 in that one, and Liverpool 2-1 winners against West Ham. Quick look at the table before we leave you ahead of our second game of the afternoon. And let's show you what that table means then. It looks like for Liverpool, it's happy reading in the end for Liverpool. Bouncing back from the defeat to Fulham last week with a big win at home against West Ham, as they go 13 points clear at the top. Remember, they could win the title next week if Arsenal lose at Ipswich and Liverpool beat Leicester. If not, Liverpool need just 2 more wins to claim a second Premier League title in 5 years. They're on the verge of it, and it was Virgil van Dijk that got the winning goal today. That's the way the Premier League title at the top looks, and we will recap how it looks at the end of the afternoon once we finish here this afternoon. Our second game of the day is on the way. Newcastle against Man United. That's in about a half an hour's time. That kicks off at St James's Park. Thank you very much for your company for this one. Do make sure you stick around for the second one. That's on the way very shortly.